Welcome to Queen Space Conversations with host Mary MJ Harper. Joining us today is Deric Durden, published author, motivational speaker, and life coach. Today's topic, Act 2, You Can Begin Again, Life After Incarceration. Deric will share his inspiring journey and insights on how to embrace second chances and rebuild your life. So whether you're seeking motivation or looking for a fresh perspective, this conversation is for you. So come on in the room. Let's get started. I want to welcome you and thank you for agreeing to come and being a guest on Queen Space Conversations. We want to tell the people more about you, about Deric, the person, Deric, the motivational speaker, the entrepreneur. So tell the people about you.
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity to be able to come on your platform and share my story in order to inspire and uplift other individuals. A little bit about me. At the end of the day, I'm just a regular guy who has big dreams. With a big passion and a big purpose, who have walked the lines and experienced some hardship and trying to turn that hardship into something that can help others. And for me, I just understand that there are people who come in behind me that may experience or make some of the same decisions that I made, and they really don't have to. If I can just reach out and help someone, 1, 2, 3, the number is not important. It's just the impact that is most important for me.
Yeah. When did you become incarcerated?
I got incarcerated at the age of 20. If I was to share the first lesson with anybody who's growing up and making some decisions, trying to find their path in life, be careful of the people you associate with. And so for me, my association was part of me just trying to fit in, trying to be accepted, because I felt like I wasn't accepted because my parents didn't accept me. Yeah. And so I found a false sense of acceptance through my association with joining the gang and doing the things that I was doing at that time, and being in relationships with a lot of different females, and just trying to find myself at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. So now, are you a single child? Do you have siblings?
I have 2 sisters, and I actually have 4 in all. My mom has 2, my dad has 2.
Okay.
And so that was part of the neglect, because they were raising the 2 girls on both sides. And I was stuck by myself with my grandmother.
Oh.
So it was like, if you love me the same way that you love them, why am I not with you? And that went both ways.
Yeah.
So I'm being raised by myself with my grandmother. We are all we got, me and her.
Yeah.
So, and I know that my sisters are, they live in a fairly better life because of the income that my mother and father had. They were in better situations financially. So it's like it was almost like a sense of like being abandoned, almost.
Yeah.
And so that really what fed that void. That really just had me reaching out in the wrong direction in order to try to get that acceptance. It started from when I was a child, growing up, and my mother and father wasn't in my life. And so you got to understand that the importance of parents, especially mother or father, they are like the first people who show a child who they are. And when you don't have that, you go through life searching for who you are in all the wrong places. Especially raised by my grandmother. And she was disabled, she was low income, but this woman instilled in me certain values. She taught me how to be independent. At the age of 7, I was cooking myself breakfast. I was ironing my clothes in elementary school. I was washing my clothes. I was doing all the things that I needed to do in order to really just come up and be independent. And even in that independence, there still was that void, but I was able to function. And she taught me that no matter what your situation is, you have to provide for the people you love. And that's what she showed me. She didn't have much. We grew up, she had food stamps, we had food stamps. She was on fixed income, but I never missed anything. I never missed a meal. I never missed clothes. I never missed anything because even in what she had, she made it work for us. It wasn't just for her. She made it work for us.
Everybody. Yeah. What type of attention or focus did the correctional institution put on the mental well-being of inmates?
To be honest, the correctional system doesn't really assist with the mental part.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get inside there, they provide certain programs. Certain programs that I went through, like cognitive intervention, bridges to life, and other courses like that. Participating in them changed my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And cognitive intervention is basically thinking about your thinking.
Okay.
You look at some of the thoughts that you have and you put it against principles that truly work. And then you find out, wait, I've been thinking like this all the time because this been my default setting.
Mm-hmm.
And once you realize that does not serve me over time, you have to replace it with something that does.
Yeah.
And then with Bridges to Life, you have individuals who've been victims of crime.
Okay.
You have people who've been raped, who've been robbed, who've been family members been murdered, all those type of things. And they take the time to come inside of prison, speak to inmates, share with the impact of their story. So you have guys who have committed some of the same crimes that this individual in front of them has
lived
experienced.
through. Yeah.
And so now you see the impact of what your decisions are, not only on you, not only on your family, but on the people who actually do these crimes too.
Mm-hmm.
Not only them, but their family. And how it becomes a ripple effect, and then you start to value and understand that your decisions really matter. And they have a big impact outside of what you really realize that your decisions really have.
Mm-hmm. So once you were arrested and you had to accept the reality of the consequences, what was that like for you at that point? Knowing that, okay, I've got so many years to do, I've got to walk this down. How did you keep from having a defeatist attitude, or did you have one? What got you through that next phase?
You gotta imagine, 20-year-old who's just been sentenced to 25 years in prison. That's a life sentence.
Mm-hmm.
That's more time than I've been alive.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a big level of acceptance, a big burden that was placed on me, because going through the court process, my mama was telling me, baby, just sign for 22 years. Baby, they gonna give you a lot of time, baby. And you gotta imagine, at this time I was 19. I can't sign for 22 years. I don't know what that looks like. I've only been alive 19.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, whatever I'm getting, they're gonna have to give it to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so they eventually ended up giving me 25 years. And to be honest, what allowed me to stay sane through the entire process was I had support the whole way through. I had people, my family, friends who backed me, supported me financially, emotionally, and even come drive 9 hours to come visit me. And so they bought me books in order for me to put my mind on different things that gave me a better understanding on life, on business, and on so many different topics spiritually. And I participated in a lot of the courses and got a college degree, all that while I was in prison.
So what did you pursue your degree in?
It was computer information technology, web design, computer programming, apps that they had out at that time. And for me, I felt like it was the wave of the future. Mm-hmm. But what you don't know that is in prison, they educate you with outdated
materials. Okay.
So the material that I was being trained on then when I was in school was really outdated. So by the time that, and plus I got my certification in 2007.
Okay.
I wasn't released to 2022. Okay. So from 2007 to 2022, the information that I learned in 2007
changed
completely,
drastically.
So it really, was outdated information. Even when I came home, so actually, I wasn't able to apply because it was outdated information.
Okay. You're up for parole. You're gonna be getting out of here soon. Was that scary for you?
That's the thing. For me, it was actually emotionless. Okay. The crazy part about it is, I'm on the phone with my then girlfriend and my two sisters. They know the information before I do. Mm-hmm. So I call home, all three of them on the phone. They got the music playing. They're so happy, and so they say, "Deric, you coming home?" And it's just very silence. The only thing I said on the phone was, "I call y'all back on the phone."
Wow.
And so in their mind, they didn't understand it.
Yeah.
They were hurt.
Yeah.
I later found out it really crushed them for my response to be what it was.
Yeah.
And so
because they were expecting you to be excited to see them and to be home, and meanwhile you're in shell shock.
I'm not necessarily shell shocked. I guess being in prison, going through so much, losing loved ones, being away from family, just going through the motion of what prison does, especially for such a long period of time. Yeah. You have to turn off your emotions in order to stay sane. A lot of times people will tell me certain things and they expect a reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, there is no reaction.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, my sisters, they were actually messed up with me for a period of time about that same situation. And I never meant to hurt. I never meant to any harm or ill feelings towards the situation. It was just
the circumstances.
It was what it was. Mm-hmm. And so for me, you said, was I excited? I wasn't. And the crazy thing, you have certain individuals that work at the back gate where you release that. Mm-hmm. And so he was a pretty close guy to me. And so he was like, I've never seen somebody who does over 10 years be released and not cry once they release. Wow. And so I was like, okay, I'm finna be released. I've done 17. I've done almost twice the amount of time that he's talking about.
Yeah.
And so when I get out, I walk out the back gate. My sisters, my daughter, my girlfriend at the time. It's about 7-8 people that are there. The video is a good time. My sister's crying, my daughter crying, everybody happy. And after the whole thing, the guys that's inside of prison, they can see you being released. They hollering at you, hey, big girl out there. Woo,
yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
And so for me, after 17 years, after all the excitement, after all that, I just get in the car and drive off.
And
just go and drive off. After 17 years, and it's like a lot of people be like, how did you do it? How did you remember how to do it? I'm like, it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that you're being recognized as one of the people to receive the Community Impact Award. Is that correct? At the Arlington Merchant Mix. And that's the Arlington Merchant Mix hosted by I Am Radio. And it is based in Arlington, Texas right now at the 79 Gold Bar. I will be there, definitely. And so I'm excited to see you and the other gentlemen receive your awards for having an impact on the community.
Whether it's a child or a mother or a father or no matter what title anyone has, it's just about really just pouring myself out and hopefully connecting with the people who can connect with me in order to, just really uplift, inspire, and change some lives. Mm-hmm. As far as me as a person, I'm actually still the same person. I grew and developed and matured during the process.
Okay.
But I dress nice, I play sports, and I'm just a good person. Mm. And so from that, I'm basically still same person. I just grew and matured over that time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time people go down there, do a certain amount of time, and they can't really function in society.
Yeah.
But for me, one thing, like I said, my support system kept me in contact with society. So I never really got so far into prison or outside of society that I had to detach,
from everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was always on the phone. I was always writing letters. I was always getting visits. So I was always in contact with society to a certain level. So I never really got so detached that I couldn't, step right back into society and function well.
So what was that like seeing young people or just anybody, other men in a similar situation that did not have that support system? What was your experience from seeing people that did not have that support system?
When you don't have a support system, you have to basically really become a product of your environment inside of prison. There are certain things or techniques or methods inside of prison that people use in order to survive.
Yeah.
Some people wash clothes. Some people sell drugs. Some people sell cell phones. Mm-hmm. Some people get into relationships with female prison guards in order to sustain themselves also. So there's so many different things that you have to do in order to really sustain yourself if you don't have that outside support. So for me, like I said, I participated in certain relationships with correctional officers during that time, but it wasn't my main source. It wasn't I didn't really get. It was more out of love than it was out of survival.
Okay.
So for me, that's how I really looked at it.
So now that you are out, you are working in the community, sharing your story. Right. And you're working as a public speaker, and you have the podcast that you were telling me about. How did you know what path you wanted to pursue when you came out?
Actually, I went through the Prison Fellowship Academy my last 18 months. Okay. It's a Christian program that for some people you have to go through that program in order to be released.
Okay.
And so parole voted me to go through that program before I could be released. Okay. And in that process, I got into Toastmasters. Okay. So I became a member of Toastmasters. I began speaking. I got a feel for it. And eventually I became the vice president of education, and I started running the meetings and all that.
And all of that's for Toastmasters?
In Toastmasters.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so that's when I really tapped into my purpose of being a speaker and getting into leadership and really stepping up to the plate and really just knowing and understanding what my purpose is.
So what was it like for you the first time you took to the stage to share your story with people?
Inside or outside?
Inside,
because inside I was spoke in front of 300 and 400 people, from inmates to outside volunteers coming in.
Okay.
I spoke multiple times, and so the first time actually stepping into a big stage, for me it was exciting. It was It was fulfilling. It was a significant chance of really just to really step into that. I remember one time I spoke in front of my little sisters, the ones that came and picked me up. I spoke in front of them. That was the first time they ever saw me speak. Wow. And they were amazed. They broke down crying. And they were just really proud of me as the person that I have grown and developed to be.
Yeah. Our young men, they need role models. They look people that have been where they're going. And then they need to know that as well, that, hey, I've been where you're going, and every experience does not have to be yours. Sometimes they can, learn from us and learn from the experiences that we have in order to, get them where they need to be.
Sure. And I'm just trying to grow my brand right now.
Okay.
I have my company, Deric Durden LLC, where I go out and speak. I speak at churches. I speak at companies. I just recently did event for children's mental health with Mr.
Okay.
Yu.
Yeah.
We both spoke together at that event. And through that event, I've been exposed to so many different people. I've been booked on multiple podcasts. Previously, I did podcasts from the Bahamas throughout the United States. And like you said, I am now been assigned to be the host of Conversation with the Gods.
Yeah.
Where we speak about helping single moms with the tools and ingredients it takes in order to raise a young boy and to be a productive man.
Yeah. Knowing that you have an audience and that you can build on your audience, what is next for you?
Next for me is really, I honestly want to build a center that individuals can come in and get the necessary tools.
Yeah.
Somebody who might be transitioning from prison back into society. Somebody who might be a young man who's about to make a decision that will lead them down that road.
Yeah.
Or the single mom who doesn't have a man in her life but might want to have a mentor for her son who can really tap into
positive
him.
Environment,
right.
Positive person.
And I just that will be next for me, to really create a space.
Okay.
Now I go into other people's spaces wherever I need to. I've been assigned to go.
Yeah.
But if I create a space for other people to come in, it'll have a different impact, and that's what I believe.
Yeah.
I also talked earlier. I spoke about association.
Yeah.
And I've been able to turn a negative association and learn the lesson from it in order to build a positive association.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, instead of hanging out with individuals who are going down the wrong path, now I have a group of mentors, like my mentor, Ricardo Miller. He's opened so many doors for me. I have a different mentor for business through the SCORE program.
Yeah.
He's opening different, and also networking, like you say, Mr. Yu,
Yeah.
Keisha Sanchez,
Yeah.
all these individuals are, they hear your story. Miss Woods from Torch.
Yeah.
She's another individual.
Yeah.
These individuals are people who look at you and they say, okay, this person has something to say.
Yes.
This person has a gift.
Yes.
Let me open doors for him that he can't open for himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
These individuals have invited me to different events, got me on different podcasts, and just been a blessing to my life. And I just really appreciate now that they've been pointing to.
Yes. Yes.
Just taking what I have, the platform that I have, and really growing it.
Okay.
Because I feel like the more people I can reach, the more impact I can have.
Okay.
And it's not about me, it's about actually, pointing to others. Right now, I'm a mentor to one young man, but eventually I want to be a mentor to many.
Yes.
Just like I have many, I want to be a mentor to many.
Yeah.
And so right now it's just about growth. Building a solid foundation and building on top of it in order to be able to grow my platform, in order to reach more people.
Yes.
I partnered with a guy named Isaiah Rucker, who is Unloaded.
Okay.
That's his brand, Unloaded.
Okay.
I partnered with him. We're doing some events coming up.
Okay.
I'm actually going back into a prison on the 22nd of this month.
Okay.
For the prison entrepreneurship program. Going to be a judge on one of the pitch contests.
Okay.
And then, then in December, I'm going back to the place where I was released in order to really share and inspire and uplift those guys also. But I'm connected with Effective Living LLC, Build Your Best Life, Mr. Yu and what he's got going on, Unloaded, that brand.
Okay.
Torch, I'm actually going to work with Torch.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Miss Woods, she is.
See, you got your hands in everything.
I mean, it's like you say, your gift will make room for you.
Absolutely.
And it's just a blessing. It's not nothing that I'm doing. I just know and understand that I've been invited into these rooms because, I have a message, and the people who are asking to hear it, I feel like they feel like I can make an impact. I feel like I can make an impact.
Okay. What is it that motivates you to do the work that you do?
Going back to my childhood, my why would be everything that I went through, that somebody else is going through it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you hear my story, if you listen to what I say, not only do you get inspiration, but I can show you alternatives.
Yes. You've been out 2 years, you're single. Is a relationship, marriage, is that something that's in the card for you? Some people, they say, nah, that's not my thing. What about there? Is that something that you're looking for at this stage in your life?
Yeah, I'll definitely want to be married at the age of 40. I'll be 40 on December 6th, which is about, what, 30 days away?
Okay. Yes.
20 something
Just
days
about.
away.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I'll be 40, so definitely at this time I'm looking for stability. So marriage is definitely one of the things that I feel like is important. When you find somebody who complements you and able to be your foundation, your backbone, your peace, you can actually, when you step outside the house, you have the mental capacity, the potential, the outreach to really walk in your purpose. Because when you get home, you can go back and get fueled at home.
Yeah.
And so for me, definitely marriage is definitely what I'm looking for as far as relationship goes.
What type of woman is it that you feel would compliment you at this stage in your life?
It's actually a good question. One of the things that I know that is important is a woman that's encouraging.
Yeah.
Even though my path might not be your path, but you have to support me in what I'm doing.
Yes.
Another thing is be my peace. When I come home, I battle enough as it is on a daily basis. When I come home, I need to come home to a place of peace and understanding. I like a woman that can cook, that don't mind cleaning. all those
basic stuff.
All those old school values.
Yes.
But really just understanding. One, you have to take the time to understand my past, accept me for who I am now, and encourage me to reach my potential. You got to be able to receive and digest information at the same time. So I can definitely get that. So tell us more about who you are as an individual. We know now about your past. We know about what you've had to overcome. And in the midst of overcoming that, you were able to get your degree and continue to move forward and progress in life. But who are you as the individual? When you're no longer speaking from the standpoint of sharing your story and things like, who are you in your private space, in your private time? Well, for me, I'm the type of guy who watch YouTube. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I don't watch movies and stuff like that on the regular. I'm gonna be where I can learn something.
Yes.
So I'm really laid back. I'm really chill. I like to go out to eat. I like to go bowling. I'm family oriented.
Yeah.
I'm still good. Like me and my sisters, we do things together.
Okay.
And it's just, I'm just a real laid back, chill individual. It don't take much
to satisfy you. Yeah.
I'm just a real cool, laid back person. I just got to the point where I understand who I am and where I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
And so I don't need the extra. I just need a solid foundation.
Okay. If you could meet anyone from history past or present history, what one person would you want to meet and have a conversation with?
Right now, I really tapped into Myron Golden.
Okay.
His unique delivery of business and the Bible combined, it's unique.
Yeah.
I feel like I would definitely like to sit down and have a conversation with him.
Okay. If you were stranded on a tropical island, who is the one person that you would want to be stranded with?
If I was to choose to spend more time with anybody, it would be my daughter.
Okay.
And just, give her a lot of time that I wouldn't have to give.
Yeah.
Because like I told you, she was born 2 weeks after I left.
Yes.
The first time I saw my daughter, she was 5 years old.
Being away from her that whole time, how did that affect your relationship?
First, it affected the relationship with myself. because I did the same thing to her that my parents did to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a guilt that I carried for not being before.
Yeah.
And then the relationship with her, it hurted. You can only imagine.
Yeah.
For 17 years. Children don't ask to be here.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's our responsibility, but sometimes children take on that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they ask themselves, what did I do wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they carry that burden when they're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And I can only imagine some of the weight that she has carried over those years.
Mm-hmm.
That was really my responsibility and not hers.
Yeah.
We went through a rocky period, and right now we are cordial. We are starting to build a better relationship.
Yeah.
At one point it was going really well, and there was a situation that happened where things turned for the worse.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to get back to a place where we can have a healthy and inspiring relationship, really.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the greatest compliment you ever received?
Great listener.
Great listener. Okay. And why is that your best compliment?
Because I feel like in order to be a great speaker, you have to first be a great listener.
Okay. Very true. Yeah.
You know, everybody wants to speak, everybody wants to talk, everybody always got advice, even if they haven't been in your shoes. But it's very, very rare to have somebody who can truly listen to understand instead of listen to react. It's just really being receptive and understanding people for who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the biggest compliment, just being a great listener and being empathetic listener at that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could go back in time and have a conversation with your 21-year-old self, what advice would you give?
Stay focused.
Yeah.
Because the point of getting I got an associate's degree.
Okay.
Which is actually a 2-year degree.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 10 years to get a 2-year degree.
Oh, wow.
Not because I wasn't smart,
Okay.
because I was being involved with things outside of what I was supposed to be doing.
Okay. Even being incarcerated,
Right.
You got distracted. Yeah.
Right. And basically I was being in a relationship with female correction officers.
Okay.
And so in that time I would start getting in a relationship with a female correction officer, get distracted, and once we broke up, go back to school, get in another relationship. Once we broke, and it was a continuous cycle over that 10 years. So stay focused, understand what's most important. That would definitely be the lesson that I would tell my 21-year-old self. Just really just staying focused, staying streamlined, not allowing other things to distract you, staying focused and just walking in my purpose.
Yeah.
I am the host. I've been brought in as part of the Build Your Best Life platform in order to be the host of Conversation with Gods.
Okay.
It happens every second Saturday of every month.
Okay.
And so I'm on there with a pastor, a retired police officer, a retired veteran, and a doctor. So I'm the host. I basically set up and host that conversation about really just giving positive information on raising young men in order to be the men that they really need to be.
What would be one thing that you would encourage young men to, men to do who want to take their life's experiences and share them with other men, whether they be incarcerated or in single-family homes? What would you encourage them to do to share their story with the masses?
If I was to give one piece of advice, it would be stay consistent, even when it doesn't look like it's going for you, even when it seems hard. When you got other things that's going on, stay consistent in delivering your message, and eventually the right person will find you.
Hold fast. Yeah. I definitely believe that by sharing your story, you are definitely walking in your purpose, because I believe that there is a certain level of accountability and transparency So when you go out and you speak to other people in the community, what's the main thing that you want them to take away from your story?
That your past doesn't have to define you. You can go through bankruptcy, you can go through divorce, you can go through incarceration, you can go through abusive childhood, abusive relationships, but those things don't have to define you.
Yeah.
You can always come out on the other end better than what you went into those situations.
Absolutely.